So coming up next on the stage, I am pleased to introduce Cleve Gaddis. Cleve is a fixture in the metro Atlanta area. He's served Atlanta since 1987, actually, and he's the co-team leader of Modern Traditions Realty Group. He has the heart of a teacher. He's very passionate about helping people, so much so that he has a radio station, gogaddisradio.com. He knows all the ins and outs of buying and selling, and he's also here to tell us about AI. So, Cleve, welcome to the show. Welcome to the webinar, the AI Advantage Summit 3.
Thank you for having me. I hope, can everybody hear me okay? Give me thumbs up if you can hear me. Awesome. Awesome. This day has been amazing so far. If you're expecting somebody like Jay who has tons of AI knowledge, you're not going to get that with me. If you're expecting someone who has the confidence of go, that's not me either. I wish I had her confidence. I'd make, I don't know, $1 million a day or something like that. And then Robin, I want her hairstyle and her energy, absolutely, positively. All of the presentations. I didn't get to watch all of them today, but I've got to watch those three, and they're just amazing. And I also went in, Rick, thank you so much for setting this up. And also thank you for giving me an opportunity to be able to buy all of the videos, because I went in and I subscribed that, and I subscribed to that. And I'm so excited to get it because there's so much information that I need to go back and listen to some of it again. I want to kind of jump in and get started. I've got a little presentation and I'll jump in and out of it as we move forward. But now that you know, I am not an AI expert. I'm just experimenting. And one of the things that I struggle with is I can write things, and I can actually write things that are halfway decently written, but I really don't write things that come across as being very emotionally intelligent. I don't write things that connect real well with other people. And so I want to focus today specifically on how we use artificial intelligence to create better ads. If you're anything like me, you know you need a lot of help. You have lots of ideas and very little time to get them implemented. And so I need to find people that can help me with the best ideas. And that's where this presentation is going to focus. I've been in real estate for 23 years. I am a team leader in Atlanta. One of the things that I love the most is I help coach teams all over the country for Workman Success Systems. I do some consulting for them. I've done my own radio show for 11 years, which is a phenomenal way to generate business if you can get enough of a listening audience. And then I've been a real estate investor for 34 years. I've learned just about everything you're not supposed to do in those 34 years, but the last few years have been really pretty good. So the agenda for my presentation today is I want to jump into the agent struggle, because I think most of us share the same struggle. When it's time for help, I want to discuss that, creating your agent avatar, and specifically, what will you do? Will you target? Who do you want to come to work for you? Then we'll talk about using AI for emotionally intelligent ads. I've got a couple little polls, and so I'm hoping that all of you will be willing to participate. And then everything you see me show in terms of a resource, at the end, you'll get a QR code. It'll all be delivered straight to you, every single bit of it. These systems are all part of a new recruiting program that is being produced by Workman Success Systems called Jolt, that'll be out in the next few months. And so you're getting a preview of some of the things that nobody else has seen before. So I'd love it if, for those of you who are willing to engage, if you'll click on the QR code and just answer the following question. Are you a broker, owner, manager, a team leader, an individual agent, a team member, an administrative assistant, or other? I'm not sure exactly what other means, but I put it on there just in case people consider themselves something other than the choices. Right now, we're at 100% broker, owner, managers. We got some individual agents coming in. Let's get in there and see where we are. Got a team leader and a team member coming in. Keep going. If you haven't had a chance to update and answer the question, I would love to see it. So looks like about 67%. We've only got 12 people who filled it out. 14 now we're up to. Keep on going. Those of you who are on, I'd love to see answers from everybody. Ian Hooper, you too, man. I'm just messing with you. I figured since Robin picked on you, I could too. Okay, so
I already did.
Good. I know you did. I'm sorry. I thought, and I read your lips. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate you, man. I really do. All right. So 54% individual agents, 21% team members, 11% broker owners, 7% team leaders, 7% administrative assistants. We've still got a few more responses coming in. I'll leave it open for just another few seconds and then I'll turn it off and we'll go to the next slide. But most of us are individual real estate agents. As you know, I'm a team leader. And so that gives me a little bit of a different perspective. But real estate as an individual agent and real estate as a team leader is really all the same. So I'll shut down the brief survey or the quiz and just talk about the plight of real estate agents. How many of you who are willing to go to the chat and post a note or two, how many of you spend a good bit of your time just being overwhelmed by prospecting, overwhelmed by providing service for people once you find a new client, overwhelmed by keeping people happy. And then the problem is you've got so much stuff going on that you wind up dropping balls. And in most cases, we drop the balls that are in our personal lives. And so is it our marriage that we would like to drop? Is it our relationships? Is it our being a parent or a child or a brother or a sister or a church member? Which one of our personal responsibilities, things that are so important to us in life, which one of those do we have to drop in order to be able to take care of all the things that we have going on in real estate? And I know we didn't get comments from everybody out there, but I got overwhelmed by not being able to stay consistent, totally overwhelmed. Yes. Hell yes, I saw in there. I do me. Yup. So the reality is that somebody just mentioned personal health gets dropped, and it's so true. I am guilty of that. And so the reality is that we have to have some plans in place when we're ready to add staff. I'm going to share my screen again because it is so interesting how inconsistent we can be with the work that we do. I was watching Robin do all of the little things that she was doing, and I was thinking to myself, I don't even understand how I would have time to figure that stuff out. And the truth is that if I'm going to have time to figure out what she's doing so I can use it to my advantage, I'm going to have other people take care of the other things for me so that I have more time. So the 24/7, 365 struggle for real estate agents, I think regardless of how much AI you use, I think it is a real struggle. And part of it is caused by the personalities that we have. We just want to go, and be all things to everybody. And most of us don't like to ever say no. So at some point, you're probably going to decide, hey, and some of you might already have some help. You individual agents might have some, administrative assistants or maybe a transaction coordinator. Certainly, as you start to grow teams, a lot of people start with a buyer's agent, or maybe they hire a marketing assistant or a runner. I have enjoyed the benefits of having a runner all the way back to 2003, delivering signs and lock boxes and all of that. And I'm sure most of you on the call today have as well. You might want to hire a listing agent, or you might want to hire a client care coordinator. And the client care coordinator is really the administrative assistant that's doing some marketing and transaction coordination. They're kind of a liaison between you and your client. And when it's time to move forward, you got to know what to do. And when I talk with most people who are trying to recruit in today's market, they're very frustrated. They don't have any problems getting a large number of responses, but they have a real problem getting a fairly decent number of qualified responses, meaning, does the person have enough experience? Do they value the same things that I value? Are they worried about the same things that I am? Are we a good culture fit? And so we're going to talk about how we can use AI to run better ads for sure. I'd love it if we do another quick survey. We've got 3 or 4 of these through in here, and I'd love for you to tell me how confident you are in your ability to hire others to help you with your business. The frowny face is I have no confidence whatsoever. And then the heart eyes is I can hire whenever I want. I'd love just to see what the overall confidence is of everybody on the call. Love that. I can hire whenever I want. We've got one who's right in the middle. We've got a frowny face now, no confidence whatsoever. Oh, now we got some good stuff going on here. Keep them coming in. We got 14 voted. I'd love to see if we can get up to 30 or 40 just to see what everybody is saying here. So it looks like the most commonly entered is the no sort of no smile, no frown, no hearts, and we've got 39% of the people saying they're kind of right in the middle. It does look like we have a few more people who are less confident in their ability to hire others, and I certainly can understand that. So I want to go on to the next slide. Thank you so much for all of you who participated in our survey. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to spend much time on this resource today, but I want you to know, Robin and Ian, that this resource is going to be provided for you if you've ever thought about starting a real estate team and you want to kind of be able to ask yourself some questions so you can think through whether or not creating a team might be right for you. You're going to be able to download the resource called Should I Start a Team? And it'll give you tons and tons of great information. Also, and we're not going to talk about this, but Carla, you might be thinking, well, I wouldn't know when to add people and who to add, and I'm not sure what I should be focusing on at each step of my growth. My guess is that most of you who are on today are very, very serious and very committed to your growth as a real estate agent. So my guess is your production numbers are significantly higher than the average real estate agent. But people, as they grow a business, they get confused. In 2011, 2009, I had just lost a fairly large real estate brokerage. I purchased it in 2006. I'll let you figure out what happened in 2007, 2008, and 2009. It was like I was riding a roller coaster to the bottom. And I see Carla shaking her head. Yes, it was going straight down. And so I decided that I wanted to pick back up, start my team, and I needed somebody to help me. And so I hired a coach. His name is Verl Workman. I had committed to hiring a coach by January the 1st. I was questioned by someone close to me at the time. Hey, did you hire a coach? And it was January the 1st. And I marched straight up to my master bedroom and closed the door so nobody could hear me. And I left a voicemail for Verl Workman saying, hey, I need to get hooked up with you for coaching. And one of the things that he helped me understand is what do you do when, as you grow your team, as you go from 80 transactions to 120 to 270 to 320 to whatever it is. He helped me understand what do I need to be doing when. And this is a free resource that all of you can just have very simply. So I want to dig into now creating emotionally intelligent ads using AI. It's actually much more simple than you think. And again, I'm gonna say that I'm not an AI expert, so I'm still working on it. And I hope someday to be an AI expert. So I'm just learning it. And what you're going to see me use is actually I have Chat GPT 4.0, but what you're going to see me using it is just Chat GPT 3.5 that everybody has access to for free. As you start to advertise for people to help you, it's difficult. I struggle, and I don't know how many of you on here today with me actually struggle writing ads, but I really, really struggle, Anita, communicating the things that I want to communicate to people so that I can find the type of help that I want. I want people to be kind of wired up a certain way. I don't know, Janet, if you can relate to that or not, but that's something that's very important to me. And so as I get ready to recruit someone, I get overwhelmed. I literally get overwhelmed, and sometimes I just get stuck because I feel powerless to move forward because I don't know exactly what to do or what to say. And all of that is exacerbated by the fact that unemployment is just low. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics and the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, unemployment rate stood at 3.7% in the end of December. Now, that doesn't mean only 3.7% of the people in the U.S. aren't working, because the reality is there are plenty of people who don't want to work, and they're not included in that percentage. But only 3.7% of the people who want to work, Robin, are not working. And so we don't have a big pool to choose from, and it makes everything even more complicated. And then when I get started to hire somebody, what skills do I need them to have? What level of experience do I want them to have? What would I like them to worry about? Do they have any specializations? Do I want them to work and be able to work in a certain geographic location, or maybe a small set of geographic locations? What worries would I like them to have had with their prior team leader or their prior broker? In other words, what was it about their prior brokerage that might be bothering them, that might make them want to move and possibly consider working with me. And so if we get very specific in the way we write our ads, we're literally talking to maybe this person, or we're talking to this person, or we're talking to this person. The better we write our ads, the more specifically and the more fully we can connect with those we are targeting and want to have come to work for us. So we want to know, what worries do they have? What is their behavior style? Would probably be something we'd like to know. What skills do we want them to have? Do we want them to have any specializations, be in a certain location? And do we want them to have certain values? And I think it's so very important. So we created, as part of our Jolt high voltage recruiting program, a creating your agent avatar worksheet. Now, the final 2 pages are instructions that explain to you what each one of the categories means, and briefly how you fill out that particular category. But I'd like to walk through it just real quickly and talk about each one of the steps and what it means, and then the tools that we've given you that you would be able to use to create your agent avatar. So the first thing that we ask you to do, Ian, is we ask you to name your avatar. Now, you might recruit multiple people, or you might only recruit one person. But in this particular case, I've named the avatar Jenny, the great agent, meaning I'm looking for a great agent and I'm calling her Jenny, the great agent. So when I run ads for this type of agent, I can just run ads specifically for Jenny, the great agent, and I'll have everything I need in order to run a great ad. If we go to the next piece, and I don't know if everybody, if people on here agree, I'll unshare my screen and just kind of ask the group. But do people, and this is something you probably already know, do people connect better over things they are afraid of, or do they connect better over things they are searching for or want? So is fear sometimes a better motivator? And I'd love for you to go to the chat box and answer this. Is fear sometimes a better motivator, or is the desire for gain a better motivator? Ian, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Janice and Janet and Dana and Tony, I'd love to hear exactly what you have to say. Are people more motivated by fear, or are they more motivated by the prospect of gaining something? I've got one answer is fear. Anybody else got any answers for me? Tammy Slay, how about you? Fear is a greater motivator. Fear, FOMO, fear of missing out. Boy, that's something very specific. Fear. So when you think about it, if fear motivates people, and you can connect more easily with people over what they're afraid of, then when we are advertising for somebody to come to work for us, we might want to focus on the things that worry them. So let me share my screen again here. And the next question is their overriding concerns. And in this particular case, and just think through whether or not this might resonate with you, but I want this agent, my ideal agent, my new buyer's agent, to have a concern over interest rates and a lack of inventory, thinking it may hurt her ability to generate consistent income this year. I want somebody, Ian, who says, you know what, I know how to make money, but I'm not sure I've got what it takes in order to make it this year in today's market. I want somebody that looks at it and says, I'm not sure I have the skills required to work in this current market. One of the things that we believe is that we're moving from a needs-based market to a skills-based market, meaning we're moving into a market because of the commission lawsuits and because of interest rates and because of inventory and because of a lack of supply, an overwhelming lack of supply. We believe that really only the skilled, the very highly skilled real estate professionals are going to be left in the game by the time it's all said and done. And I'm guessing that most of you are already in that highly skilled group. But if you're anything like me, you would like to see your skills continue to improve. So that's why we put that in there. And this particular agent, Jenny, the great agent, says, every year I feel like I'm starting over. You don't have to answer this question out loud, but how many times on January the 1st of a certain year have you thought about, man, I got to start this all over again? So many people experience that feeling at the beginning of the year. And there's really no reason to feel that way if you're taught by somebody how to do the right things. And then this particular agent is saying, I'm running out of time to hit it big in real estate, meaning I've been doing it for 6 or 8 or 10 years, and I'm afraid that I'm going to run out of time before I can actually hit it big. So those are the overriding concerns. And I want you to watch how we're going to take all of these answers and then we're going to put them together in very specific instructions for ChatGPT. In this particular case, I want them to have a behavioral style in the DISC behavioral style profile. I want them to be a high IS. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the DISC personality profile, D stands for dominance, I stands for influence, S stands for steadiness, and C stands for conscientiousness. And so when we're looking for a buyer's agent, and this is another resource that you'll be able to download, the preferred disc styles for real estate. So it tells you what type of personality profile works best in what position. Because Ian, and I see you leaning in to look, if you hired a buyer's agent that was a very high D, and you as a team leader are a very high D, that's not going to be a very emotionally rewarding experience for you or your buyer's agent. So you need to find someone whose personality fits in with a team and fits in with their position. And in this case, we're looking specifically for a buyer's agent. So we're looking for their D to be 50 or below. We're looking for their I to be 75 plus, their S to be mid-high, right in the 50 range, and then their C to be mid-low 50 or less. So we want them to be a lower D, a higher I, a higher S, and a middle C. And that should make a good buyer's agent. So let's take a look now. Now that we know we want the IS, and we decided we wanted the IS because we looked at the preferred real estate, preferred personality styles for real estate. And oh, I see Robin Mann just put on her Georgia sweatshirt. Ooh, as a person from Atlanta, Georgia, I like anybody celebrating the Bulldogs. We didn't do it this year, but we've done it a lot of years in the past. Now, I want to tell, oh, go ahead, Robin. You got something you want to say? Please do.
I was just going to say go dogs.
Go Dogs. I love it. And where is Waxhaw? Where is Waxhaw, North Carolina? I have no idea where that is.
Charlotte. But I grew
Oh,
up
it's,
in Athens.
oh, sure. Oh, God. Okay. You and I are
Yeah.
close. I could be to your place in 3.5 hours.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So now we want to include some emotionally intelligent words that we can use to better connect with someone. So look at it this way, Mary. I'm looking to use words in my ad that resonate with someone who has the personality type that I'm looking for. And so I'm going to tell ChatGPT to use the words convincing and enthusiastic and inspiring and trusting and understanding and friendly and sincere and a team player. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to use those words in the ad, hoping that I can better connect with someone who has that high IS personality. Ian, do you see how this is all starting to fit together? Is this kind of making sense? Now, where do the words come from? Well, you've got this resource that gives you tendencies of each style. It gives you behavior descriptors of each style. And then it gives you much more specific behavior descriptors in a word sketch for each personality style. And I know this is a little small, but don't worry about it. When you get the downloads, this is going to come to you. And so you'll have a hard PDF copy of it so you can use it. But I know, Ian, that I wanted a high IS. And so I chose the words that I put in my words to connect section from the influence under the yellow column and the steadiness under the green column. I chose words that I liked only from those columns. If, Ian, I didn't have enough choices, then I could go over here and you want any words that are above this line that runs between number 4 and number 3, because these tend to be the attributes that are describing someone with that personality. Under the line tend to be words that are describing attributes they do not have. So, for example, Ian, I am a very high D. My D used to be so high that you could see very little room between my graph and the top of the chart. Now, as I get older, thank goodness my D is getting a little bit softer, because being a very high D does not always make everybody love you. And so if you wanted to attract someone like me, you would not include the words moderate, questioning, unassuming, mild, seeking consensus, unobtrusive, someone who logically weighs pros and cons, and you certainly wouldn't use Robin, agreeing, cautious, conservative, contemplative, modest, or restrained. Because if you use those words, Rick, I would think you were talking to someone else. I wouldn't think you were talking to me. And so I'm using the words that connect with the people that I want to hire. And again, this resource will be available for you when you go get the downloads. Now let's talk about production level. I talk to team leaders and brokers all over the place. And Mary, they say, I'd like somebody who is a top producer, and I'd like somebody that sells 40 or 50 or 60 units a year or whatever it is. And the reality is that's very rarely the case. What they're normally looking for is someone who knows that there's money to be made in real estate, but they can't seem to tie more than 1 or 2 good months together. Robin, you know what it is. You make good money, and then starve, and make good money, starve, starve. I'm not saying that's the way for you, but it probably was that way at one time where it was hard to generate that income consistently. And so I'm looking for someone who has sold between 3 and 7 units in either 2022 or 2023. I'm going to take this information and use it over in my data mining service, a Broker Metrics, a Market View Snapshot, some of those programs to find agents that fit this. And then I'm going to target them on Facebook, Instagram, places like that. But that's not the purpose of this discussion today. From a demographic standpoint, I'd like them to have a minimum of 1 year's worth of experience. I'd like them to know English and Spanish, and I'd like them to be able to work Gwinnett, Fulton, and Forsyth counties. Anybody from the metro Atlanta area will know exactly where those counties are. I want them to specialize in buyer representations, negotiation, and investor representation. I could put anything I wanted to in here, but I want them to have these skills. From a culture and value standpoint, I want them to be honest. I want them to value hard work and a positive attitude. I want them to stick with things until they are done. All of these are the things that I would like for them to value. And then as we look at what they dislike about being with their current broker, Christy, I'd like for them to maybe have been at a brokerage where there were promises that were made that were not kept, where there is a perceived lack of training or support, and where everyone feels like they're on their own and there's no teamwork. And so we've gathered all of this information on our agent avatar, and now it's time to write an ad. And I would love it if you would just humor me and participate in 2 more little polls that we've got, and participate in this one and rate your writing skills. A frowny face is not good, and the heart smiley face is you should be a published author. I'd love to see where everybody is. Oh, we got 2 good writers in the first place. Look at that, of the 6. Okay, now the quality of our writers is getting a little bit less. Okay, we've got some people being honest with the neutral face, or the slightly moderate frowny face, not the angry face. Mary, if you just sit down, we're doing just a little poll, and if you want to click on the QR code, you can go there and rate your writing skills anywhere from not good to up to you should be a published author. And I'd love to see, hopefully we'll get a few more. We've only got 9 people participating in the poll right now, but hopefully we'll have just a few more. Now we're up to 11. So it looks like that a lot of the people on today's session consider themselves pretty good writers, and I think that's fantastic. I would rate myself right in the middle. I would rate myself in the neutral face, because the reality is I can write, but I'm not really a great writer. I don't, as I mentioned earlier, I don't emotionally connect with people sometimes when I write, and that's a real problem because, as we discussed, people are motivated by their emotions. They want to connect with people based on emotions, and in many cases, they want to connect with people based on things that we might all share that we are afraid of. And so now I'm going to take all of this information. I'm going to go into ChatGPT. This is just a screenshot. I'll go into ChatGPT live in just a second, and I'm just going to basically enter my instructions in the message ChatGPT box. And so the instructions that I entered into ChatGPT start right here on this page, and I say, please write 3 ads for me, 1 for online advertising, 1 for Facebook, and 1 for Instagram. I tell them where I'm located. I decided to say I was a successful real estate broker, Mary. I assume since it's me, I can say whatever I want to. And I said, from an overriding concern standpoint, I'm looking to hire real estate agents who are worried about interest rates and all of the information that you saw us gather on the agent avatar form. Then I list the emotionally intelligent words to connect, and I say, based on their behavioral style, words that will resonate them are convincing, enthusiastic, inspiring, all the ones that you saw before. I put the production level. I also put their experience, the languages that I want them to speak, the locations that I'd like them to work, their specializations, their culture and values, also the things they dislike about their current broker. And then I just gave a few additional instructions. Write this ad in narrative form and use very few bullet points or lists. One of the things that I found that ChatGPT does is it loves to put things in bullet points and lists. And that's not always best for an ad. It certainly can work. And you'll see that even though I told it to use few, it still uses a good bit of them, just not as many as it would if you left it alone. And then I said they should apply, or they should request more information or apply by visiting. And then I put in a sample website telling people exactly what they need to do. And then just for those of you who'd like to take a look at it, this is what ChatGPT spit out. I love it. The title is Join Our Real Estate Revolution in Northeast Atlanta. In the bustling world of real estate, finding your place can be a daunting task. But what if I told you there's a place where your worries about interest rates, inventory, and market skills can finally find peace? As somebody who is worried that interest rates are going to keep them from making consistent income in 2024, I think that would resonate with them. Then as a successful real estate broker in Northeast Atlanta, I'm on a mission to build a team of convincing, enthusiastic, inspiring, and trusty agents like you, agents who know the value of being friendly, sincere, and a true team player. We understand the hurdles you face. You're worried about unpredictable interest rates. You're not feeling equipped. You're tired of starting over every year. You're feeling like time is running out to make it big in real estate. You're fluent in English and in Spanish. You specialize in buyer representation, negotiations, investor services. You'll feel right at home here. Our culture is built on honesty, hard work, positive attitudes, and a commitment to seeing things through to completion. We understand the pain points you might be experiencing. You don't want unkept promises. You want no more lack of training and support, no more feeling like you're on your own, and no more lack of teamwork. And then it gives the specific instructions as to how they should apply. So that's the online ad that I would use on a site like WiseHire or maybe Indeed, something like that. Here's an example of a Facebook ad. It gives you everything you need to run a Facebook ad. I would call my new friend Robin and say, how do I come up with some great pictures and things like that to use with my ad? It's not my expertise, but sounds like it certainly is Robin's. But this ad is way better. And Rick, I don't know if you read these, you're thinking this is better or worse than what you would write, but this is way better than what I would write. And I can turn around and do another version a few days later and another version a few days later. And just like Robin was showing us earlier, here's an Instagram ad that gives you everything you need to put on Instagram in order to try to generate the attention that you're looking for. And then remember, you'll always have the opportunity to put it on your clipboard, to rate it as a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and then to regenerate it. And it is such a cool thing to be able to just do one version after another. And so I'll just pull this up. This is like the third time I have generated this same ad on ChatGPT, and this is basically what you saw that I had copied and pasted over there. This one might be just a little bit different, and I'm going to give it a thumbs up, and I'm just going to say great tone and submit the feedback, and then I'm just going to click on regenerate, and it's going to just spit out all new copies for me. Again, I'm in 3.5 at this point, so there's no cost for any of this. And if you run an ad for a few days and it's not performing the way you want it to perform, it's no problem, because you can just go in here and generate a new ad and do something different. And it is amazing how fast it works. I'd never generated any photos. So when I saw Robin generating photos, I was interested in how long it took ChatGPT to do that. It doesn't take very long, but it takes a long time compared to writing something. So it's thinking and gathering all the data and putting everything together. And I think that's really fascinating. So you can just continue to run new ads as often as you want to. and get them refreshed, and then increase your response rates, which we all know is very, very important. Let me share turn on the slideshow one more time. And I've got one more survey. Let me go back to it if we can. And this is, when you hire someone, how confident are you in this person being successful? Any of you who have hired someone, if you're anything like me, I was very accustomed to hiring people and having them fall flat on their faces. Robin, after the first week, I would, decide that they were totally incompetent and weren't going to be able to do the job. Now, mind you, I hadn't given them any meaningful training at all, but I had already decided they were incompetent, didn't even know what to do. I'm surprised we don't have anybody at the low end, and I'm really proud to see that. We've got, everybody seems to be right in the middle. If you haven't gone and participated in our poll, I invite you to do that. I'm always fascinated to learn what other people are thinking and how they feel about their own skill set. Now we're a little bit weighted more towards the frowny face, which I'm thinking says I have a little bit of confidence, but I don't really have much confidence there. Give a few minutes just to let a few more people go in and take the poll. And those of you who are doing this, by the way, I really do appreciate it. I know it's a small group that's actually taking the polls, but I appreciate it. So in this particular case, the majority, 38%, say, hey, I have a reasonable amount of confidence. 31% say I'm kind of in the middle. I'm not confident, but I'm not, I don't believe I'm going to be a guaranteed success, although that just jumped up. And then 29% of us say, oh, I don't know that I have the best ability when it comes to writing ads. And so I want to review with you real quickly some of the free resources. I hope this information has at least given a couple of you a few little ideas you can use to add some good either administrative support, or maybe create a partnership if you're just an individual agent, or create a small team, an agent with a client care coordinator or a transaction coordinator or administrative assistant. That's a team, even though it's one agent, because you're leveraging. But you can get your free resources, and there's the QR code to actually download your free resources. You'll actually get it again on the next page. Now it's in the bottom left-hand corner. But when you go and download your free resources, you will get the Should I Start a Team resource. You'll get the Ideal Times to Hire Team Members resource. You'll get Creating Your Agent Avatar. You'll get DISC, Emotionally Intelligent Words to Use. You'll get the preferred DISC styles for real estate. And then you'll get the specific instructions that I use to input into ChatGPT in order to get the results that we got, just in case you want something that would help you get started. Those of you who have friends who are team leaders or other agents who are looking to recruit and want some help, feel free to share these materials with them. And who knows, it might be something, they might find something that will really help them with their recruiting efforts. And I told you before that I am a coach and a consultant with Workman Success Systems. If you're anything like I was in 2009, you're frustrated. I was really kind of at the end of my rope and I needed some help. And I turned to Workman Success Systems to get some personal life balance and to learn the systems and the tools that I needed to be successful. And to be honest with you, I was really kind of tired of creating a job for myself where I had more and more and more and more and more responsibilities, and I wanted to create a business. I wanted to grow a business. And so that's ultimately, what happened once I hired Workman Success Systems in 2010. Is 2010, and it has made a huge difference in my life. I'm not saying that coaching is right for you, because it's not right for everybody, but I'm saying if at some point in time it does get to be where coaching is right for you, just visit workmansuccess.com. You can get just a little bit more information. And then I thank all of you for giving me your undivided attention today. I've put my name here. You've also got my Workman Success email address, and then right in the middle, Ian, we mentioned earlier, and Robin, I mentioned earlier that I do a radio show here in Metro Atlanta, and it's about Metro Atlanta and the state of Georgia, but it also has a lot of national real estate statistics. So if you're ever looking for something that you could listen to that might help you with some messaging about your particular market, you might want to subscribe to the podcast and then listen to a few episodes as they come out, and it might help you basically have conversations that are they're more motivating, they're more emotionally moving with consumers than the conversations you're having right now. I know I've only got about 3 minutes left, but I want to see if there are any questions or anything else that we need to talk about to help the group. I'd be more than happy to do that. And Rick, thanks for sharing the links and all the stuff that you've been sharing today. Ian, good to see you too, sir.
Absolutely, Cleve. Thank you so much. And I'll be sure that everybody that registered for today, whether they were live here with us or not, we have well over 700 people now that have registered for the day. I'll make sure that they get your slides. That was fantastic information.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Any questions? We've got 3 minutes. Fire
Wait a
away.
minute. Anything? Robin, how about you? Have you ever used AI to help you write job ads?
No, but I love this. And I have taken the disc. I am disc certified. So I love this concept and I love utilizing it in this way. It's very smart.
And so you say you're disc certified. What are you?
A mess. Yeah.
Well, that's not a category on this. A mess is not a category. That would be my category as well, by the way. I'm glad that we have that category.
I'm
You-
an I with a D, so close. I don't think I can find my C, and the S is okay.
Got it. And so are you predominantly focused on listings or buyers?
Listings.
Yeah, that makes sense. Someone with a really high ID is really kind of an ideal real estate agent. Here's a generic question for everyone. How about Chat GPT hallucinating? Besides reading the output to make sure it makes sense, how can you ensure the accuracy? I'm not qualified to answer that question, but I'll be honest with you. I read every last word that Chat GPT pumps out for me because sometimes it puts some things in there that don't make any sense at all. I never thought about calling them hallucinations, but Robin, any comments from you on that?
I just if I'm using anything that's a stat, I'll just go do a quick. I mean, I just copy and paste it out of what they've said and stick it over in Google and just say, give me some information on this. I mean, I would say 98% of the time it's accurate.
And Kevin, I've asked for coffee shops in the neighborhood and it makes up coffee shops. So you do have to read it. You do have to input your own local expertise and your knowledge. ChatGPT and AI is supposed to get you like 80% of the way there. But if you were to hire an assistant to write something for you, you would always preview it and you're always liable for what your assistant writes. So the same thing goes when you have a digital virtual assistant, ChatGPT. So always read it, but you can also ask it to give you citations and cite your sources. And so a lot of times it will cite the sources and make sure that at least it's found it somewhere on the internet, as opposed to making up, Robin's coffee shop, which doesn't exist. Hey,
And
Cleve, thank
Tony,
you so much for your time today. We do have to stay on point and on schedule. Robin, you have one quick?
I was just gonna say Tony posted, but he sent it to me by accident. It wasn't supposed to me. He was trying to tell everybody, but it says ask chat to research trusted, reliable resources. So same thing you said, but I just want to make sure he got that out to the world because it went to the and he loves workman's success. So that was from Tony.
All right, awesome. Hey, Cleve, thank you so much. Thank you. That gift of the resources is phenomenal. I will make sure everybody gets that registered for today. So thank you very much. I'm going to turn off our recording